Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for Jeff Timmerman, a former village resident who passed away early last week. Thank you. Okay, welcome to the village board meeting of June 27, 2011. I'd like to add two items under, yes, Meg, do we have to make a communication session for those two?
Yes.
So we'll amend the agenda to include a communications section under the minutes, to include communications 1 and communications 2. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. First, we're going to approve the minutes from the village board meeting from June 13th, 2011. Has everyone had an opportunity to look over it? Any errors or omissions? And now I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Now on to the two communications. I have a letter here from the Mid-Atlantic St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee from the President, Megan Sullivan-Mollahan, asking for us to approve the St. Patrick's Day Parade this year. And it doesn't really get specifics, they just asked for us to approve it. So what I was thinking is I would send her a letter in response explaining what we've been talking about overtime costs and the village not incurring those costs, but the parties that are hosting these events to be paying for those. But I was thinking just so we can show them that moving along, maybe approve it contingent on the new protocol and procedures for overtime, if that's favorable to everyone.
That's fine.
It's okay? Okay, so any discussion?
They,
So moved.
No.
It's got a second before we
it's got a
discuss.
second, oh, right, okay. As long as it's clear
Yeah.
that we have not formulated what they are yet, and that it would be a work in progress before they have any right of approval.
Right.
Okay.
So I guess let's for a motion to approve the 2012 St. Patrick's Day Parade, Mid-Atlantic St. Patrick's Day Parade in the village of Goshen, pending approval of our new overtime protocol and procedures.
We already conditional on meeting those new procedures.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes. Next letter is a letter from Goshen Volunteer Ambulance Corps. They have parking spots next to their building that their employees use when they go out to calls. They come and park their vehicles there next to the building. A lot of times they find that even though those spaces are dedicated to go back, they're being used by just regular individuals. And when they try to get there and pull into a call, they find there's no place to park. So they're hoping that we could designate those parking spots as for go back by order of the village board. I think it's fair. I'm not sure if it requires a public hearing, but it might, so I'm not sure.
I think it has to go in the regulations. When it goes into the regulations, then
Okay.
it does necessitate public hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to when we do like a 15-minute spot.
Right.
Or a stop sign, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Any change to the
And
reg.
obviously, David, we don't, he's not here.
And where exactly is this?
It's, if you're looking at the go back building, it's the parking spots that are adjacent to the building in that side parking lot.
So you're talking on New Street?
Across from the
Yeah.
street, yeah.
They've designated spots there, but you know what the problem is? There's been some altercations that are going on there, because people pull in there and block them in, or I guess people are actually parking in the spots.
Parking in the
themselves.
spots, blocking them in.
What's their future longevity at that location?
They're not going anyplace else,
I
right?
mean, I think that they were told they were gonna get something from Artist Estates during that time, but I don't think there's been any movement on that since. So,
Does that place fall apart?
yeah, I would anticipate.
I think we're gonna go back there, honestly.
And so, I mean, I'm
That's
saying to
a-
go
that's a
through
mess.
the hoops to go and get them parking spots or something like that, 6 months from now, they move to another building, might be a waste of time.
Yeah, I haven't heard any short-term plans to move. I know it's been discussed, but I don't think there's anything concrete. But I think the process, there's a waiting time before the public hearing. But I think we could probably have this
Minimal,
done
though.
before the end of summer.
Yeah, that's minimal.
So if the board is in favor, we can probably schedule, how many weeks do we need to wait? What is it, 2 weeks?
That's it.
Do they have a placard that they put on their dashboard that identifies the car as a?
I would imagine they do, but if they don't, I'm sure that that's something they could do.
Well, obviously, the thing that would help benefit them is that it would be made an official village situation and the police department could
Can
enforce it.
enforce it.
Right, but then again, let's go back, I think what you're saying, I have the same thought, to give whoever's eligible to park in those spots, they should have some sort of identifying.
And we'd have to
decal.
determine how many spots, because that is not private lot. Who owns that lot?
It's a village lot.
Exactly, so.
Yeah, I think basically there are certain spots that are designated now, but it isn't enforceable.
But they're not formally.
Yeah, because it doesn't say by where the village board.
Okay.
Well, if we own the property, why do we have to go to some kind of a public hearing just to say, yes, give them their parking spot? We own,
I think it's an enforcement issue. If we don't have anything there, then it's just a standard municipal lot where anyone can park anywhere.
And if it becomes part of the regulations, anytime you change the regulations, even if you change a stop sign or put in a new stop sign, it always has to go through the update of going through the public hearing. I don't think I'm wrong.
All right, well,
Okay. So
it doesn't have to get done tomorrow. Just wait a while.
do we want to schedule a public hearing tonight or hold off?
We could schedule it, if David determines it's not necessary for some reason, then we'll cancel it.
Is everyone in favor of that?
That's fine.
So maybe what would be in the next public meeting that we have? Looking at July 11th?
11th or 25th, I think, I have that right, yeah, so there's no meeting next week, but then we're gonna work,
Another work session, right?
so 11th or 25th.
Okay.
Do it for the other?
Okay. So I'll ask for motion
Why don't
to,
you do it for the 25th, only because every time I talk to David, we may find out we don't even need to do it and publish.
Yeah.
Do it, so it's going to be a waste of
Okay.
effort.
okay, so I guess I'll ask for motion to schedule a public hearing on ambulance spots for go back for the 25th of July.
So,
Second?
So,
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Okay, now we have abstract of vouchers. These are bills examined by members of the board were approved in accordance with abstract 2010-2011, number 30, check numbers 1695 through 1781, in the amount of $250,506.60. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Then we have a resolution for our sewer trunk line replacement. You just want to speak to this briefly?
Yeah, this is replacing the trunk line as it passes across the Heritage Trail in the vicinity of the Quickway, underneath the Quickway there. And there's a bottleneck of sewer lines that are going to be straightened out, enlarged, and basically hydraulically improved. The DC has said that we have to have an environmental review done for that. So we prepared a short environmental assessment form, and the village board has to declare itself a lead agency and declare a negative declaration so that we can proceed with the DEC.
Okay. Any board questions or discussion?
no, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's exciting. This is just the next stage in our I&I work that we're doing in the village. You know, the first major project was the line replacement and manhole on Erie Street, and that's done, and we've already seen some positive benefits from that, and this will be the next step. And we think this is going to go a long way in helping improve our overflow situation even more. Okay, whereas the Village of Goshen has heretofore prepared the plans and specifications necessary for the implementation of a project known as sewer trunk line replacement, for which project involves the replacement of an undersized trunk sewer line with a new, larger trunk sewer line for the purpose of reducing and/or eliminating overflows associated with the high flow events. And whereas this project is an unlisted action as the term is defined by the implementing regulations of environmental conservation law set forth in 6 NYCRR Part 617 at SIP, and whereas the village engineer has prepared the necessary short environmental assessment form together with the necessary application for approval of said project to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, and whereas compliance with the requirements of this implementing regulations of the environmental conservation law is a requirement for completion of said application, and whereas the village board determines that the implementation of the project herein above described will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, now therefore it is resolved that the village board hereby issues a negative declaration in connection with the above described project. With a roll call vote.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay.
Trustee Chair?
Aye.
Trustee Stewart? I'm sorry, Trustee Matthews?
It's okay, it's a good move.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Stewart?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Next, we have two appointments, the Environmental Review Board. These are both very exciting. We had talked the other week about the Environmental Review Board wanting to take on a larger project, and they decided that they want to focus on recycling the village and coming up with some recommendations for the village board to potentially enact that would lead to more people recycling, which would ultimately save money and benefit the environment. First, at their last meeting, the ERB voted to have Jason Wilson appointed the chairman of the Environmental Review Board, but the village board needs to ratify that. So I'm going to ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Only that I like the fact that we're respecting the wishes of the members of the board.
Yes, I think, it's,
I think it's appropriate.
they work with each other. I think it's only
That's right.
fitting they should be able to pick the chair. No, and Jason Wilson, he's been a hard worker, as have all the members, but I know he's been going out for additional training recently, and he's really taken the bull by the horns. So-
Which is terrific. When they go for the training, it really puts them in touch with the laws that they have to follow.
Absolutely. So, all right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All right. Next, this is a new appointment. Neil Hickok has expressed interest in joining the Environmental Review Board. Those who know Neil know he's very passionate about the environment, longtime village resident, and I think he'll do an excellent job on this. And I want to thank him for throwing his hat in the ring. I know he'll be a great asset. He had a prior commitment tonight, otherwise he would be here himself. I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Only that I like when people who have a passion get involved with the government. You know, that's where the decisions are made. It's a positive thing.
Absolutely. I think he's going to do a great job. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All right, this is bringing in a seasonal intern with the DPW. In the past, the DPW's gotten 2 part-timers to work during the summer. Superintendent Nusleys came and spoke to the board during our last work session, asking for the 2 employees. Based on just the financial times we're dealing with, to be fiscally responsible, we declined to go with both of them. But there really is a need for extra help in the DPW. There's 2 employees that are out on comp. There's just a lot of things going on. 2 of the employees are working with employees from Lake and Tully doing the manhole survey. So the department is already stretched very thin going into their busy time of the year with everything that this summer involves. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Only that when our other part-time employee leaves, I hope that we will reconsider and see what we can possibly do for the DPW at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. There's someone there that's now, and I guess they're going away to college at the end of the
Right.
summer. So at that point, we can evaluate and see what our finances are looking like.
If we can.
Right. So, all right, further discussion? Yep. Luke Nelson is hereby appointed seasonal interim laborer for the Village of Goshen Department of Public Works at a salary of $12 an hour for a term to begin on June 29th, 2011 and end on August 30th, 2011. This appointment is effective upon successful completion of a pre-employment physical exam and a pre-employment paperwork. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have 3 resolutions for 3 wastewater treatment operators. All 3 of these people do an excellent job. They've been going in with getting substantial training, becoming very well versed on what it is to run a sewage treatment plant, and they continue to exceed expectations. And I think this is a really positive thing for the sewer department and the village as a whole. So I'll go through each of these. For the first one, do I have a second?
Sure.
Or first?
So moved.
And a second. Okay. Joshua Bell, having successfully completed the certification for Grade 2 wastewater treatment operator, is hereby promoted to the position of wastewater treatment operator 2. In accordance with the current contract between the Village of Goshen and the CSEA, Joshua Bell will be placed on the 2011 Step 2 of the pay scale for water and sewer operator 2, an annual salary of $40,472. This appointment shall become effective immediately. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. A motion by trustee, first,
Sure.
a second.
Second.
All right, Brian Richings, having successfully completed the certification for grade 2 wastewater treatment operator, is hereby promoted to the position of water wastewater treatment operator 2 in accordance with the current contract between the Village of Goshen and the CSEA. Brian Richings will be placed on the 2011 Step 2 of the pay scale for water and sewer operator 2 with an annual salary of $40,472. This appointment shall become effective immediately. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, carries. And last, need a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Michael Sullivan, having successfully completed the certification for grade 2A water treatment operator, is hereby promoted to the position of water wastewater treatment operator 1. In accordance with the current contract between the Village of Goshen and the CSEA, Michael Sullivan will be placed on the 2011 Step 3 of the pay scale for water and sewer operator 1 with an annual salary of $39,288. This appointment shall become effective immediately. All in favor, signify
Wait,
by
hold it, can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
I'm making the comment because he's gone for water treatment operator. And the times that we have to work with difficulties at our plant, these people are totally dedicated. It takes a special kind of personality who work almost alone for many, many hours at a time. And these are very dedicated people. So I welcome him to the family.
Absolutely, well said. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, now start with trustee comments. Trustee Matthews, would you like to start?
Sure. I'd like to remind everyone, as I ride around the village, that we have had a lot of rain, significant amounts of rain. However, it's torrential downpours. So if you have trees out in front, please make sure that you're not weed whacking them and that you are making sure that they get some water. Luckily, our reservoir is full. We're in solid, we're full at this point, and we're full at the end of the month, and we should be able to make it through the summer very well. As well, we have the benefit, if anyone wants to come take a look at the mayor's new office, it looks so fantastic, and the restoration that's taken place has been covered financially, so it is, once again, shows the value of respecting our history when we can. On top of that, I'd like to say that we're continuing our efforts to finalize relationship with the county and getting our water line approved. Once again, we set up meeting after meeting and are trying to bring this to closure. That's it.
Trustee Stewart?
The activities of the Department of Public Works on June 14th to June 27th. Crews assisted plumbers at the Carriage Hill Apartments with replacement of valves in one of their buildings. Parking meters have been emptied. Because of recent downpours, crews have been out working on drainage. That's it.
That's it, true.
Trustee Char?
I just want to congratulate Christina Davila. She was the winner this year of the Chief John H. Egbertson Scholarship, which was presented at the Goshen High School graduation, which I guess occurred on Saturday, and it rained out on Friday, correct? So congratulations to Christina, who I understand is going to be pursuing an education in the field of criminal justice. That's it.
Trustee Smith? Okay. For my report, first I want to formally welcome home Isabel Smith, who came back to the United States from overseas, safe and sound, recently. So congratulations to the whole Smith family. And we thank her for her service to our country overseas all this time. Congratulations to Sierra Dawson and Christine Ignazio, two seniors in Goshen High School who just graduated. They received the Village of Goshen scholarships. In addition, I want to graduate the entire class of 2011 for Goshen Central Schools and all other surrounding schools for that matter. For sewer report, the sewer crews continue to assist the engineers with the manhole inspections, inspecting every manhole in the village. And last, I wanted to just publicly thank Doug Bloomfield and the town board. They've taken up us on our offer to begin negotiations again. So myself and Deputy Mayor Char will be meeting with Supervisor Bloomfield and Councilman Newbold this Thursday evening for our first meeting. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm very encouraged. I think it's going to be a positive step in the right direction to working on a new intermunicipal agreement between our communities. With that, that's all I have tonight. Open up to citizens' comments.
Gary? Anything? I guess
Yeah.
it is only,
You said that the office was covered financially. By whom?
Well, there was damage. The
I know.
damage that
Oh, so it
occurred
was
covered.
insurance.
Exactly, was the insurance coverage. Well, hi there.
All right, any other citizen comments?
yeah, I've got a couple tonight. Let me just step away from my own microphone here. On the go-back lot, it's my understanding that the village owns that building now. Is that correct?
I believe so.
And is the village holding a mortgage on that building?
That I'm not sure.
No, I don't believe.
I don't believe
I
so.
thought I had seen something in the financial sheets at budget time on a mortgage there.
I'm not aware of any mortgage on it. It was obviously the Dykeman Firehouse for
Yeah.
forever.
Right, but the,
And when the Dykemans moved out, it reverted back to the village.
Well, we can strictly check on
We
that,
can
but
look,
we
but
don't think so.
I don't think the Dykemans ever had a mortgage on it, so I don't
right,
know.
okay.
I'm with Mal. but-
As far as the parking lot goes, you had a question as to what needed to be done and why. I may be wrong on this, but I believe that it has to, since you're changing the site plan, that you may have to go to the planning board for a site plan change. But David will speak to that. I just raised that as a possibility. The 52 acres that are out between 17M and the waste treatment plant. A couple months ago, I was walking down the trail and I noticed that that has been posted. And Mr. Donovan, at some point in the past at a board meeting, had raised the issue that posting sometimes counterintuitively can raise your surface of liability exposure. Sometimes it's best not to post it. So my question is, since it was done without a resolution at the board here, who posted it, why was it posted, and what the reasoning is behind having it posted?
Is that for any of the survey work we did out there, Art?
I don't think so. No.
No, these are postings, keep out, no trespassing, posted.
I'd have to look into that and
It's
find
all
out for
the way
you.
along the boundary along the trail.
That might also be county too, because the county maintains the trail, so I'll look into that.
That they would post village lands?
Well, I just know that the county maintains the heritage trails.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but I can find out though.
Okay. Several meetings ago, I had asked Mr. Donovan for a list of the litigations that the village was involved in. He's not here tonight, but do you have that list tonight? He didn't have it at the last meeting.
He did not give it to me. Nothing has changed
Could
recently.
you manage to include it in the minutes for tonight?
If it's not here, we
Yeah.
can't include it in the minutes, Joel.
I mean, the
We'll
request.
just have to ask next time. Along those lines, work has stopped with the dirt pile. Is there litigation underway regarding the removal of the dirt there?
No, there isn't. We're still in communication with our contractor, looking at potential areas to bring the dirt that will hopefully be cheaper or cost competitive.
When you say contract, you talk about Cornerstone or Nestle?
Nestle, we're still working with Cornerstone as well, but Nestle's our contractor for that site.
So, I don't want to misunderstand this. You're saying that Nestle is trying to find a less expensive receiving site?
Well, the site that we were bringing the material to,
Right.
Middlesex County, isn't taking any more of the material. So we're looking at 2 other landfills in that area that meet alternate daily cover.
So that's why it stopped?
Correct.
Middlesex said no more, no mas.
Right, so we're
Okay.
looking at,
Was that over the amount of the material or the quality of the material?
I believe it was certain things with the quality. For alternate daily cover, they have certain standards, because that's going on top of the rest as the daily cover. So there's certain standards there.
And that comes to the last question. I guess that sort of answers it as to what the expectation is when that's going to get going again. And by the way, am I correct that 65% of the material remains?
No, I
Or
believe
65 has been removed?
I believe 65% was removed.
What has been paid out for the removal thus far?
I believe a little over $5 million.
And is that complete against bills received?
I'm sorry?
Is that complete against bills received? Is there any outstanding payment still to be paid?
No, I believe he's been paid everything.
And that implies that the bond actually did float has been,
So the bond, we got the BAN.
so this is all being paid out under bands.
For the moment, until it's
Uh,
bonded, which
And then what's the story on the bond being brought to market?
What do you mean? We took a $7 million bond anticipation note. That's what we took out, that's what we were able to use to pay Nesty for his initial work that he's done so far.
So that was the payment to the bond broker that came up several meetings back?
The financial
Yeah.
person, that, he hasn't been paid yet. That, eventually his payment.
But that's
will
what,
come out of the
that's what it was for this intermediate note, the bond anticipation note, not the East EFC bond?
bond. No, he's working on, if we had, when we take out the second bond for this project, it's estimated to be up to 10 million, we took out
Right.
7. We might take out 3 more, we might only take out 2 more, depending on what direction things
No.
are going in. And then we're gonna see how the markets go next year, depending on how interest rates are, we might turn it into serial bonds. We might stay in BANs for another year, depending on the market, what gets us our best bang for our buck.
So then these are two-year notes, the bands?
They're 1-year notes, but
1-year
we
notes.
could re-up them if we choose to do so.
And so far you say we've only drawn down 7 against that, or have we actually borrowed 7, or just we have the ability to borrow 7?
We
Like
borrowed
letter of
7.
credit. We have borrowed 7.
Yes.
No, actually, well, when I say no, just because I think, just the wording, Joel, I think what you're saying is we have a $7 million line.
That's what I'm asking.
We've only used a little over 5 to pay that.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay, so
Okay.
so
Okay.
we have $7 million in
Now-
credit.
Now,
We've only
is
drawn
that,
about 5.
is that note, or that series of notes, backed by the EFC?
I don't know what's the answer for you.
That was not done through EFC.
So these are just going to the muni market and...
Correct.
If someone were to look to purchase these notes as an investor, what would they be looking for? These are listed on the open market.
I'd have to double check into that, Joel. I mean, we're using a financial advisor.
If one were to go to a listing of, you know, in the Wall Street Journal, you'd find our bonds listed
I
there?
would be speculating to give you a direct answer on that right now. Let me do my homework so I can get you. I don't want to just guess on that.
Good, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further citizens' comments? Okay, with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Second?
It's not a bad motion to go into executive session.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going back? Okay.
We have it on the agenda.
Oh, okay. I guess, do we still want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so ask for motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation or arbitration with the town with no intent to do any business after we return.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Okay.